Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come watch our presentation. We are the Lung Health Group from UC Riverside School of Medicine's Future Physician Leader Program, and our presentation today is titled Inhale, Exhale.
To begin with, we're going to introduce ourselves. I'm Paramjot Singh. I'm a high school senior, and I'm going to become a biology or biochemistry major.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nicholas Lee, and I'm an incoming fourth year at UC Riverside, majoring in biology and minoring in Japanese.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn. I'm a UCLA alumni. I graduated in 2019 with an environmental science degree.
Hi, my name is Cristina Villanueva, and I am an incoming transfer student to UCSB as a biopsychology major.
Hi, my name is Amitur. I'm a rising fourth year senior at UCR with a major in biology.
Hi, I'm Faria Khan, and I'm an incoming senior at JFK High School, and I'm a biology major. I would like you all to take time to fill out this pre-presentation survey. You can scan the QR code or type in the link with your phones, or we will also put the link down in the chat. If you have any questions which you feel uncomfortable answering, please feel free to skip them. All of the answers you place will remain confidential. Please also read the introduction on the survey for additional information. Taking the survey will allow us to understand our community better and understand how many people connect with lung health. Please pause the video to take the survey.
So a little bit about us. Our mission and vision as a lung health group is to inform and educate those of all age groups within the Inland Empire, specifically marginalized communities, on the importance and all the different factors that contribute to overall community health and the different dynamics of lung health. All in all, we hope that by the end of this presentation, you will have a better understanding of general basics of lung health and know how to some preventative measures and different ways to take care of your lungs as well.
So a quick little disclaimer, this presentation is only for educational purposes only. If you have any specific questions regarding medication or any personal concerns, please feel free to consult your primary care provider and have those answers addressed by a professional. Thank you so much. So what is lung health? Lung health is a measure of your overall respiratory lifestyle. It answers a bunch of basic questions about your own life, such as, can you walk up and down the stairs or perform daily tasks without gasping for air? Do you feel any discomfort or any chest pain that occurs whenever you take a breath? And the reason why lung health is such a prominent and huge issue, especially within our local communities throughout Southern California, is because 1 in 10 adults in Riverside County still suffers with asthma. Thus, lung health is a huge complication, especially considering the environment of our local communities.
The learning objectives that we will speak on during our presentation are: what are some barriers to lung health? What are some lung diseases? How can we improve our lung health? And lastly, what resources can you use to improve respiration? Now, how do our lungs breathe? The process of breathing, as in inhaling and exhaling, a process that takes less than a second, contains many steps. In the first image at the top, when air enters our bodies, it travels down the trachea, also known as the windpipe, reaching the carina. In the second image towards the right, the trachea splits into two and creates two mainstream bronchi leading to the left and right lung. The bronchi splits again and again, making bronchioles. In the third image towards the left, the bronchioles end in the alveoli, which are air sacs. Additional information about lungs is that, of course, they help us breathe. It also transports oxygen, does gas exchange, regulates blood levels, filters out small gas bubbles trapped in the bloodstream, and helps control our blood pressure. Now, I would like you all to take this trivia question, which is, what main muscle in our body helps the lung with breathing? Please enter your answers into the chat. I'll give you guys about 10 seconds. So the answer was diaphragm. If you guys got this answer, let's give you a round of applause. The diaphragm is the most important muscle for breathing. The diaphragm is a dome shape that flattens when contracting, increasing the size of the lung when inhaling, shown in the left image. This pulls the air to the bottom of the lungs. The diaphragm then relaxes when exhaling, which decreases the size of the lungs, shown on the right image. This makes air get pushed out of the lungs and out of the mouth. Now I'll be passing it on to my colleague, Nick.
Thank you, Faria. And now, just as we talked about the diaphragm, we're going to be doing a really quick breathing exercise that just involves the diaphragm. And it's called diaphragmatic breathing. And this is a really cool, easy to do, simple exercise that strengthens the diaphragm as it does the heavy lifting of breathing, and it can even help those with COPD or chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder. So how do we do it? Well, first, I want everyone to, lean back, relax your shoulders, let them drop, right? Sit up straight and place your hand over your belly. Next, slowly take a big deep breath in. Really feel the air travel through your nose, up and down to your trachea, and feel your abdomen expand as your lungs fill with air. And you should feel, your belly kind of protruding outwards as you have your hand there. You're gonna hold it in for a few seconds and then let it out. Let the air out slowly. So kind of press down your hand towards your belly. Feel the air come out of your lungs. Feel the diaphragm, contract through the trachea back and out through your nostrils and mouth. It's a really quick way to practice mindfulness, and it's super simple to do. And it's a great way to just keep your lungs healthy and exercise them as well as they are, as the diaphragm is a muscle. Moving on, we'll be covering some brief lung diseases. First, we have asthma. Who here has known someone with asthma? It's a very common, but pretty much what it does is, as you can see on the left, this is a normal airway. However, with someone with asthma, they're going to have a wall that is more inflamed, making it harder for air to flow through those airways. And then asthma airway during an asthma attack, as that's what happens, is when the muscles actually tighten, making the airway even smaller. As a result, air gets trapped in the alveoli, and then the person suffering the attack has heavy difficulty breathing. That's why they use an inhaler, shown here, to kind of open up those airways and allow airflow again. Next up is allergies. So this is a very common lung disease. I'm sure everyone knows someone who knows allergies. Personally, I have allergies myself to dust. And then when I breathe it in, I personally sneeze, get really puffy, and my eyes get watery as well. Other symptoms include headaches, nasal congestions, fatigue, and coughing. And, allergies can be treated with over-the-counter medication, such as like Claritin or whatever your physician prescribes. Moving on to more serious diseases, the first one would be pneumonia. Pneumonia, as shown in the X-ray, is when too much liquid gets into your lungs and it causes an infection. And this leads to a lot of coughing, a lot of uncomfortableness, and it needs, serious medication to help cure that, Next up is COPD, or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And there's a bunch of different forms, but the main two include bronchitis and emphysema. So bronchitis, similar to asthma, where as you can see, the airways are a little more tightened. However, in this case, there's excess mucus. And in order to treat bronchitis, you're going to need to be prescribed a antiviral medication provided by the physician. And then in emphysema, the alveolar membrane, so the air sacs that Faria just talked about, actually their coating breaks down, making it harder for the individual to breathe. Lastly is lung cancer. So similar to all other cancers, it's when the cells start dividing uncontrollably. So as you can see, in this case, it's in the lungs. So these cells in the lungs are actually growing in mass, and that is dangerous and deadly because it's taking nutrients that your body needs to divide and grow those cells when it should be used elsewhere. I'm going to be passing it off to my colleague, Ami. Thank you.
So, which counties have the worst air quality here in California? Is it A, Los Angeles County, B, San Francisco County, C, Orange and San Diego County, or D, Riverside and San Bernardino County? You guys can have 10 seconds to quickly go and select the answer that you believe is appropriate. So the answer is actually Riverside and San Bernardino County. So why did we choose lung health for this presentation for our community? Well, California actually leads the charts for cities with the worst air pollution in the country. In fact, San Bernardino and Riverside counties has been rated as the most polluted air in all of California. In fact, the Lung Association has ranked Riverside and San Bernardino County as the worst in the nation, with a F grade for smog, ozone, and particulate pollution. As you can take a look on the right side for the air quality report, you can see that Riverside and San Bernardino cities are actually situated in the red area, which is indicative of having poor air quality. And on the left side, you can see that the light green colors and the clear colors, which are more indicative or reflective of a green color or being in a good area, are located in Orange County and Los Angeles. Thus, air quality is one of the biggest issues regarding how effective lung health or how beneficial lung health is of community residents in a certain area. Next slide, please. So when discussing barriers to lung health, especially those that are common in our community, we need to discuss a variety of issues that may result in lung health complications. One issue might be being situated near an area of high traffic or in an area of industrial waste, which will result in developing lung health complications later on in your lifestyle. Also, living in houses built before 1978 may contain asbestos, radon, arsenic, and other carcinogens that may increase your chance of developing lung cancer throughout your life. Also, living in areas with high winds and gust storms can also affect your overall lung health and your ability to fight off diseases and infections. And the last and one of the biggest issues is working in hazardous work conditions, which will result in you developing any type of lung health complication later down your life. Without further ado, I'm going to hand this off to Christina.
Thank you, Ami. So we bring up the stigmas associated with lung cancer because it's felt by many people who are diagnosed with this disease. And it's important to bring awareness of the effects of stigma as it negatively affects every facet of the lung cancer experience. It can make some patients less likely to seek treatment and receive support, and is also linked to disease-related distress and poor health outcomes in lung cancer patients. By tackling these stigmas, we can help those with lung cancer receive the right support, leading to the better health outcomes. Next, please. And there are a variety of treatments to treat lung diseases, and here we'll be covering some of the most common treatments of treating lung disease, starting with inhalers, which are used to treat asthma and COPD by releasing medication through the mouth. Another form is medications, which are highly used to help lessen the symptoms of allergies and treat pneumonia. Other methods of treatment are medical procedures, such as when a person is diagnosed with lung cancer, as medical lobectomy, which is performed with cutting an infected part of the lung. Next, please. So there are preventative measures in reducing the risk of lung disease, and essential steps into maintaining good lung health is starting with a healthy diet, because eating the right foods can help you breathe easier, putting less stress on your lungs. Essential vitamins such as vitamin D and vitamin E help lower the risk of asthma and the symptoms of some respiratory diseases. Incorporating antioxidants into your diet is important as well, because they can help in lowering oxidation damage and protect your cells. And foods to avoid are fried foods and foods high in saturated and trans fat, because it's also associated with the increased risk of asthma. And next, I will be passing on to my colleague, Jocelyn.
Thank you, Christina. I will now be going over exercises to strengthen your lungs. So this is really meant to emphasize some preventative measures to avoid some of the lung diseases that can develop. As Fire discussed earlier, the basics of your lungs is to provide oxygen, right? And to make sure that it's breathing. So in order to make sure that your lungs are in a good state, you need to continuously make sure it's active and working so that the gears of your body don't get rusty. Inland Empire quality can get pretty bad in the summer, but you can still exercise indoors or simply in your room. For instance, I currently am dealing with worsening asthma symptoms, so I regularly have to monitor my air quality on my phone. And I also just find like YouTube workouts just to do some exercises in my room. And then next slide, please. Next, I'll be going over another breathing exercise that can be helpful in improving your lung function and also helping with reducing stress. It's called pursed lips breathing. So it's a simple two-step process. The first step is simply just guiding you through the inhalation process and making sure your breathing is in through your nose and doing it slowly, of course. And then the second step would just be to make sure when you're exhaling to purse your lips so that slows down your exiting breath. I would say the main thing of this is to really slow down your breathing to make sure your lung capacity is being tested, but to also help with slowing down your thoughts and helping reduce stress. And then now you can't talk about lung health without talking about smoking. Some minor effects of smoking, i.e. some beginning signs of something being wrong with your lungs, are coughing, chest pain, wheezing, unexpected fevers, and swelling of your neck, which is actually the location of your lymph nodes, an important part of your immune system. And major effects of smoking are lung cancer, heart disease, and death. And then lastly, a shocking fact about Riverside County is that only 39% of stores sell fruits and veggies, while 80% of stores sell flavored tobacco products. And now I'm on to Parmesan.
Drugs and addiction can also have major effects on lung health. They can limit the gas exchange in your lungs in the alveoli, which are like little gas air sacs at the end of your bronchi. They can build up in your lungs, which can also make it harder to breathe. They also drugs like heroin and cocaine paralyze the parts of your lungs that stop diseases from coming in, which makes you more susceptible to lung disease like pneumonia. To round us all off, they're hard to stop. They are addictive, which continues the cycle and makes them even harder to stop and deteriorates your lung health even further. But addiction is a serious issue, but there is help. Opioid deaths at San Bernardino have nearly doubled since 2016, but there are resources to help. You can use the drug abuse hotline, which is seen on the screen, or you can contact smokefree.org or the American Addiction Center. Those are all great resources that you can use. Now, what can you do you can take action in your community? I have linked QR codes for research that you can use for all of these actions at the bottom of these sections. So the first thing you do is self-advocacy. Get involved in local movements. See what people are doing in your community and get involved. Share your voice. What have you experienced? Share your story. Maybe other people have experienced similar things. Read local newspapers. Many times local newspapers have important events that you might have not even known about without reading them. Hold your government accountable. Make sure that government officials are doing as you voted them to do. Hold them accountable. Reach out to your representatives. Some more resources that you can use are medication cost assistance, which you can scan that QR code for. For more information on the breathing exercise that we showed earlier, you can scan the second QR code. And if you have asthma, resources that can help is the Riverside Asthma Coalition, whose address and phone number is given on the screen. Now, can you guys please pause the video to take the post-presentation survey? Again, it is very helpful to our project and seeing how well our project has done and how well we have improved lung health in the Inland Empire. Okay, now passing it on to Christina to finish things off.
Thank you, Paramjot. So we'd like to thank everyone for being here with us today and learning about lung health. We are here to help our community, and so if you have any questions or comments, we love to hear from you and get in touch and email us at ucr9fpl@gmail.com. And if you'd like to learn more about lung health, visit our website by scanning the QR code on the left corner or typing in tinyurl.com/FPL group9 and follow us on our Instagram page at FPL_lung health. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to our presentation. Have a great day.